There is always a lot happening in our cattery, both inside it and beyond it. This episode gives you a real look at how that actually plays out in everyday life. You'll see our kittens in rare colors that we've been waiting for, and what do those colors mean to us after so many years in breeding. We take a closer look at the new litter box and compare it to the one we already trust, focusing on why small technical details matter in daily life with cats. You'll come with us to our cat show and see what that day truly feels like from our perspective. New cardboard scratchers were tested, and we share honestly how they work for our cats. We also talk about why we decided to design our own balls and what pushed us to create something that fits both our cats and our space. And finally, there is a look at professional grooming session, because cow's health is something we take seriously. I hope you enjoyed this new chapter of Cat Breeder Diaries. When it comes to kitten colors, we are Cattery that really loves variety in British Shorthair. Since almost all colors are recognized in breed, that's been our main goal from the start, and later our long-term focus in breeding. After a long time, we finally have a litter that includes chocolate, red and lilac kittens. These are the colors we started with about 20 years ago. Our very first breeding pair was chocolate torty female, named Bess, and lilac male, named Osiris. And from their pairings, we often got combinations of chocolate red and lilac kittens. For many years, we didn't have these colors in our breeding program, and we really missed them. Now they're back. Beautiful examples of chocolate and red kittens, but this time in a new genetic lines with completely fresh blood. Each color carries its own character and feeling. Chocolate cats have a special warm tone that reminds me of a hot chocolate. They always appear calm and elegant. Red kittens are livelier, full of energy, as if their color gives them little extra fire in their personality. Lilac cats are gentler, with softness and pastel calmness. This variety of colors brings us a special charm to our breeding. Every shade has its own story and emotion. If you've been following us, you know we already have several CATLINK Luxury Pro X automatic litter boxes. And now we've added one Ultra model. You're probably wondering what the differences are and if it's worth paying more. The biggest difference is the built-in camera on Ultra. I can see which cat went in and when, which helps me track their habit and notice if someone is going too often or staying too long. It is a useful way to spot when something changes, so I can keep an eye on it in the next few days. Most of the time, it turns out someone just decided to take a nap inside, but with the camera, I can tell who it was. The second difference is Wi-Fi. Ultra supports both 2.4 and 5 GHz networks. You can still connect it to 2.4 GHz, but since the camera streams HD video, it is not a bad idea to use 5 GHz. We haven't had issues with video lag, and notifications came without delay. Sometimes the unit disconnects from Wi-Fi, and when that happens, it needs to be added again. This process is very short. You simply remove the device from the app, put it in pairing mode, and add it back. App recognizes it as the same unit, and everything returns as it was. So it is not a big problem, but it can be a bit tedious when it happens. Third, the new radar detects movement more accurately, with fewer false pauses, and the cycle starts when it should. In practice, that's mostly on paper. It is hard to notice a real difference in daily use. What matters most to us is that the litter box is safe for our cats, and we can see that CATLINK keeps improving that part. Noise-wise, both are about the same. They are generally quiet, and in the Cattery, with all the background sounds, you can barely hear them. The cats aren't bothered at all. Everything else else is practically identical. Safety sensors, UV and outdoor filters, and 13-liter waste drawer, self-cleaning and app tracking. Maintenance is the same too. I wipe the edges occasionally, check the filter, and wash the drum when needed, and that's it. The app shows useful data for both models, displaying more or few details depending on which device is connected. The Ultra adds an extra layer of information with a camera, but even without it, you know when it was used, how much litter is left, and what's going on inside. We attended a cat show in Celje, Slovenia. As always, we started quite earlier to make sure we arrived on time. The trip was great, the weather decent, a bit fog in places, but nothing serious. We took 3 cats with us, our cream boy Puffy and 2 young girls, Lollipop, a blue tortie, and Juno, a blue tortie bicolor. When we arrived at the venue, we registered, got the catalog and schedule, and set up the cages, just like we always do. Once the cats were settled, we walked around a bit and greeted many familiar breeders who had also came. Judging usually starts around 10 in the morning. The displays show which cats each judge is evaluating. That day we were assigned to 2 different judges, which meant a bit more running back and forth since they were in separate areas. Luckily, since there are 2 of us, it was easier to divide who handled which cat. Judging in the morning lasts until around 2 p.m., followed by break, and then the best in show begins. The selection of the most beautiful cats from all categories: kittens, junior, adults, neuters and veterans. Shows typically run on both Saturday and Sunday, often until 6 or 7 in the evening, depending on the number of cats and visitors. We always found these shows interesting because every breeder can learn a lot of there. You hear news about the breed, meet new judges, or reconnect with old friends. It is always useful to hear what the judges have to say. They can confirm whether you are heading the right direction in your breeding program, whether your cats are promising, and if it's worth continuing to work with them. It is important to understand that not every show cat is suitable for breeding, and not every breeding cat is meant for shows. But if you have both qualities in one cat, that is ideal combination. Cat shows are also a great test of a cat's character. You can see how they handle stressful situations, travel, crowds, new smells and people. It tells you a lot about their stability and temperament. That is why it's important for breeders to attend shows regularly. Besides setting us apart from the so-called backyard breeders, it is also an opportunity to learn, compare results and hear expert opinions. New breeders often receive helpful advice, and even for us with years of experience, it is always beneficial. In breeding, just like in life, learning never stops. Standard changes and evolve over the time, and judges are usually the first to know what's new and what to focus on. In addition, cat shows are a great place to talk to vets, learn the new things about health and care, and share your own experience with others. That is why a show should never be seen only as a competition, but also an opportunity for education and knowledge exchange among the breeders. There are so many cardboard scratchers on the market, all kinds of sizes and quality levels. Our cats love them, but quickly realized that thinner, smaller and lighter ones just don't last. After a couple of weeks, they fell apart and it's simply not worth it. That's why we started looking for stronger, bigger and heavier models. We tried several brands and finally decided on my Cattery scratchers. The first set we bought mostly out of curiosity, but as soon as the cats tried them, we knew we get another one. Now we ordered a new set. The set includes 2 scratchers, one solid and one with the opening in the middle. The cats use both the outer and inner parts, constantly switching between them, and they clearly enjoy it. The first thing you notice is weight. They can't move them easily, which which they seems to like. The cardboard is dense and compact, so it doesn't fall apart even through its steel paper at the end of the day. What we especially love is the size. An adult British cat can stretch out completely on it. We often find them not only scratching, but also sleeping on these scratchers. The cardboard keeps them warm, so in winter it becomes their favorite spot. Besides being practical, they actually look beautiful. They fit easy into any room, don't stand out, and don't look like typical scratchers that spoil the look of the living room. That is important to us because we like all the equipment in the Cattery to blend nicely with the space. In the end, we can say my Coty scratchers have proven to be excellent for a multi-cat Cattery. We had one of their models that lasts almost 4 years and was still usable. We hope this new series will last at least as long, because weaker cardboard scratchers simply can't handle British Shorthair cats. The idea for these balls came from a simple wish: to create something of our own. Many balls you can buy simply don't fit naturally into space or feel like part of the interior. So we decided to make our own. We started from one simple question: why shouldn't cat ball look like a piece of design? Something that fits into the home, both in color and shape, while still being functional and safe for the cat. Each of our balls is 3D printed. That allows us to customize it, the color, the size, even the cat's name. Inside there is a stainless steel insert that can be easily removed and washed. The bottom has non-slip silicone pads, so the ball stays firmly in place. That was very important because British Shorthair cats are quite strong and light balls simply move around the floor. In the tilted models, the height and angle are adjusted to make eating more comfortable for the cats. It is especially helpful for older cats because it doesn't strain their neck and makes digestion easier. At the moment, we have 5 main models, each with different variations. They can be customized with text and produced in various colors, so every ball can feel personal and unique. We also developing a special version for breeders that can be easily mounted on show cages during cat exhibitions. Something practical, stable, and still visually clean. For us, design is just important as a function. We believe that every cat accessory can be both beautiful and useful. If a cat already has its own bed, toy, and scratcher, why shouldn't it also have a ball that fits into that world? In the end, I can say this is a combination of design and real-life experience with cats, made with idea that every cat should have its own small personalized corner, so owners don't have to choose between functionality and aesthetics. British Shorthair cats usually keep themselves very clean. We normally do not bath our cats at all. Regular brushing is enough for most of the year. However, once or twice a year, during intense shedding, they lose much more coat than usual. In that period, they swallow more hair, which can lead to vomiting and discomfort. That is when professional grooming can really help. The session always starts calmly. First, the nails are trimmed for safety, then the coat is thoroughly brushed to remove as much dead undercoat as possible before bathing. Different coat colors and textures require different shampoo. It is not about using more product, but about using the correct one. Some coats need light conditioning, others almost none. The goal is always healthy skin and proper coat structure. Bathing is done with diluted shampoo and lukewarm water. The cat is gently supported the entire time. For breeding cats, special attention is given to the tail base area, which can become slightly greasy due to hormonal activity. Drying is actually one of the most important parts. After towel drying, a professional dryer removes remaining loose hair and fully dries the dense undercoat. The transformation is visible. The coat becomes fuller, cleaner, and better defined. There is a common myth that cats are sedated for grooming. Ours are not. Calm behavior comes from early socialization and regular handling, not medication. We have already shared a full professional grooming process in a separated video, when you can see every step in detail. If you like a deeper look at how everything is done from start to finish, you can watch the complete grooming video linked on the screen. Life in a cattery includes the big moments, like shows and new litters, but it also includes all the small, everyday things happening behind the scenes. There is always something new going on here. If you like to keep following along, you can continue with another Cat Breeder Diaries episode, explore our Cat Breeder Questions and Answers series, or watch one of our cat show videos. Thank you for watching, love your cats, and see you in the next one.